So let's talk about the dead man, the Undertaker. Recently, WWE has released the final chapter of the Last Ride documentary series that they're doing on the Undertaker. And this one, the Undertaker more or less has declared that he has retired. That he's gonna try and spend the rest of his years being a dad, a family man. And to be honest, he's deserved it. He spent well over 30 years in the WWE, and he's put his body, his mental being, everything out there and on the line to entertain generations of fans. I can honestly say I'm someone who was around during a majority of it. I watched live on pay-per-view when The Undertaker beat Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series 1991, I want to say, for his first World Heavyweight Championship. I've been more or less watching The Undertaker since, all the way to his now last match against AJ Styles at this past year's WrestleMania. I can say a lot of the eras of The Undertaker are no doubt unforgettable, and of course there's some that are questionable to head-scratching, to say the least, especially some decisions. For a long while, I was going to try and do a few Undertaker things. One for here on my channel, for like favorite matches, feuds, moments. And then I was hoping to at some point do one for the wrestling show for Fan Night. And do like a costume review for Undertaker's different attires. I guess I could still get around to the matches, moments, but then again I could bring him up here too. Whether you want to refer to him as Mark Calloway, The Undertaker, in some ways it's one and the same, but either way, I respect that he's tried to stay around and compete when he's able to physically. I admit I kind of wish he would have retired a little sooner. Maybe 5 years ago he could have retired instead. Now that he wants to just live his life away from the wrestling ring. That's nice. But I like how in the last chapter of the Last Ride documentary thing, we saw him visit the Performance Center and actually talk to some of the upcoming talent there in the WWE, and probably those that are be in NXT. And I'm thinking, you know, he could actually do this with a lot of talent. He could actually help train and prepare these guys for what they could possibly face. Because in that documentary, there was like a handful of very tall, big guys. And Undertaker not only was a big, tall wrestler, but he had experience in ring with big, tall guys. So he does have a mind that can help the business a lot. I think everything that has been revealed so far through the Last Ride documentary, on top of everything that we've been told and shown so far, I still wish that they could do like an autobiography book. But they could probably do one based off of all the stuff that we know right now. I have to admit that some of my favorite times of watching The Undertaker have been like in the early 90s and I guess the start of the 2000s. Because in the early 90s we had, the birth of The Undertaker to the purple gloved Undertaker era. And then the early 2000 era stuff is like the American Badass style Undertaker, where he kind of poured a little more of himself, a bit more of a normal person into the Undertaker. Most of his great feuds that he's had throughout his career. I mean, so the favorite ones I remember watching the most there was Undertaker versus Yokozuna, which was a great feud, and I kind of enjoyed that feud with Yokozuna over Yokozuna's feud with Lex Luger. And I do like the idea of The Undertaker versus The Undertaker, in a way it looked good, but it turned out odd. Of course, not as odd as Kane versus Kane, that was even more awkward. And The Undertaker versus Mankind feud, that was, wow, really went to the extreme in their Hell in a Cell match. And then we can also go into the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels matches. One of the things I really didn't like, as far as the Undertaker character, where it went, was the ministry days. I didn't really like that. I know I very much enjoyed the return of in a way, of the original Undertaker character at WrestleMania 20 against his brother Kane. But I think from that point forward, from like WrestleMania 20 onward, we kind of got just about the same type of Undertaker moving forward. Till about this past WrestleMania, where we had something that was a mixture of the American Badass and just Mark Calloway himself, because time is not on everyone's side. I was planning on doing like WWE's worst decisions ever. And to me, no doubt, one of them has been Brock Lesnar ending the WrestleMania streak. They could have saved that if they were going to have The Undertaker continue for years upon years. Saved it for an up-and-comer that deserved that extra push, instead of giving it to somebody who was already a beast. After that WrestleMania where Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker, it's like The Undertaker fought a bunch of upcoming guys who he could have ended the streak with. But instead we get Brock Lesnar. In a way, I'm thankful and grateful to be able to watch and enjoy and be entertained with The Undertaker character a majority of his career. From kind of the beginning era all the way to the end. I do hope he can help out the wrestling business in a little way. He doesn't necessarily need to get back in the ring to help out. He can do behind the scenes stuff. He can help upcoming talent without getting in the ring. I don't see an issue with him just staying home, being a family man, and just enjoying the life that he has. Here's to Mark Calloway, The Undertaker.